We're back. Hey, we're back. We're back. Give me the phone. 1-0 every week. Let's go. Come on, Raider Nation, baby.
We're back. So the Las Vegas Raiders go into Gillette Stadium and hand the revenge game to Josh McDaniels that he deserves, which is a loss because the Raiders walk out victorious 20-13. Now listen, this was not a perfect game by any means, but there are some major takeaways that we have to consider in watching this game. Number one takeaway is, I'm going to just say it straight off of the gate. Brock Bowers is by far the best tight end, maybe in the history of the NFL. Obviously, he's going to have to put another 8 or 9 years in his career to prove that, but he walks away with over 100 yards in this game, made big crucial plays, and hats off to him. He is an absolute stud. Now, the second thing that I want to say is that anybody who was doubting Geno Smith, if you watch this game and you think that Aiden O'Connell is at least as good or better than Geno Smith, you're smoking something that is probably illegal. Because Geno Smith absolutely handled this game. I know he had an interception, but that interception came from a tipped ball, so it is what it is. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown that ball. Maybe he should have thrown it just a little bit further. Maybe he should have thrown it just a half a second sooner. Either way, he's throwing it to the best tight end in NFL. So he was open, he throws him the ball, it gets tipped, he gets an interception. But what Geno Smith did, especially when you watch the absolute necessity to get a first down, scrambles out of the pocket, throws across his body to an open Michael Mayer, hits him perfectly right in the hands, picks up the first down, keeps the drive moving, and that is the very reason why the Raiders got this entire victory today. So hats off to Geno Smith, who is now a Raider. He gets the first victory in week one of the Raiders to really set us up well for next week's game at home. So I'm super excited that Geno is now a Raider, and for everybody who was hating on him, eat crow, because so far so good. Week one, Geno Smith absolutely handled business in very tough conditions. The next thing that we need to talk about is Jakob Meyers. Listen, Mark Davis, John Spytek, Tom Brady, ownership and management of this team, for the love of God, please pay this man. Please extend him. This dude was grabbing everything that was thrown to him today. I think he had one drop pass. Okay? This dude is snatching the ball out of the air like, I don't know. I can't even come up with a good metaphor for how good Jakob Meyers is and how completely underrated he is. I like Jack Besh. I think he was a good pickup for the Raiders, but he is not Jakob Meyers. And the Raiders need to solidify that we're going to have a receiving core team for Geno Smith to throw the ball to, who he can rely on and trust for the next 3 years that Geno's going to be our starting quarterback. And Jakob Meyers is that dude. He showed in this game in terrible conditions, a revenge game for him back at the Patriots. Please pay this man. Please pay this man. Listen, I want you guys to do me a huge favor. Maybe this will get the message to John Spytek. Comment Jakob Meyers down in the comment section right now. Spam it. I want everybody watching this video to put Jakob Meyers not once, not twice, but 3 times in the comment section so that hopefully John Spytek will get word of this. Now, the next thing that we need to talk about before we move forward is today's sponsor of the channel, and that is Box House. Guys, I know you don't like listening to sponsorships, but you absolutely need to listen to this one. If any of you out there need a mother-in-law suite, you need a tiny house, you need an ADU, you gotta go to Box House. They're my dudes, man, and they support the Raiders. So give my boy Kevin Ross a call. The number is on the screen. He is a fantastic dude. He's the owner of the business. He'll take fantastic care of you, and they can deliver pretty much anywhere in the country. They got the best tiny homes on the market Website is down in the link below as well in the description. Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty gets his first touchdown as a Raider in the regular season. And that was pretty much all that we got to see out of Ashton Jeanty in this game. Because our offensive line stinks when it comes to the run block. We've got to clean this up. If we don't clean up the run blocking and open up some holes for our number 6 overall pick, it's going to be a very disappointing season for this rookie. And it's going to affect his confidence. Now, he did have one chance where he could have broke out and have a big play. He would have had to break a tackle, but he slipped on the grass. It was very wet, very rainy. But outside of his touchdown, I didn't see what I wanted to see out of Ashton Jeanty. And I'm hoping next week at home on the turf, well, I guess, yeah, we have grass too. It's not actually turf, but it is indoors. No weather. I'm hoping to see Ashton Jeanty really be able to ball out at home. So, number one thing that the Raiders need to do, and this is my biggest question mark right now, is I was watching to see how JPJ does at the right guard, and I did not see a big push from him. I've seen some mistakes from him at right guard, and this was the problem with him last year at left guard. So he is much more natural at the center position, and I'm just not sure that if having Jordan Meredith at the center position is the right call for the Raiders moving forward. I honestly think that the Raiders need to relook at this offensive line because they were not good today. They had some good plays where they did some good pass blocking, and then they had some horrible ones. Colton Miller got blown up on several plays. DJ Glaze got blown up on several plays. And that's in pass pro. In running pro, they were not good. Run blocking. Sorry, I'm so excited I can't talk. So that needs to get cleaned up. The next thing that I want to talk about is Dante Thornton Jr. We didn't get to see a whole lot of him today, but when it counted, when we were 3rd and 20, the sliding catch to the side of his body going down to get the ball. First of all, if Geno Smith would have had the time to put that ball right where it needed to be, Dante Thornton Jr. walks in for an easy touchdown because he absolutely destroyed the DB that was on him with an inside-outside juke move. And he was just wide open. He had to stop and go down to the ground to catch the ball because it was underthrown, because obviously Geno Smith had a guy right in his face trying to take his head off. But Geno was able to throw the ball, and Dante Thornton, for everybody said that he's just a deep ball guy, he doesn't really have great hands. The body control that it took for him to come down with that ball was absolutely fantastic. So I think and I expect to see more big things from him. Another guy that I absolutely love to see ball out of control today was Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker last year had the worst year of his career because he had 3 quarterbacks who didn't know how to throw the ball. This year, he's got a quarterback who knows how to target him. He gets a walk-in touchdown when he absolutely blows up the Patriots DBs. And a beautiful, right-on, spot-on pass by Geno Smith for an easy touchdown for Trey Tucker. But that's not the only highlight that Trey had today. He had several catches where he was just absolutely showing off his hands, his route running, his ability to get off of DBs. Absolutely love Trey Tucker. And I think, listen, if you go back and watch my documentary I made on Trey Tucker, I said this dude has the potential to be a star in the NFL. And he proved it today. He just needs a quarterback to get him the ball. And he will absolutely ball out. So I think, listen, right now, the story is our wide receiving core with Brock Bowers is one of the best and will be one of the best in football this season because we have Geno Smith who can absolutely light it up. But don't forget about Michael Mayer. Now, we did have a scary incident and we don't know the reports of it right now, but Brock Bowers hurt his knee. We don't know what the extent of it's going to be. He's probably going to have an MRI to find out what the full extent was. And so we'll stay tuned for that. And matter of fact, hit your prayers down in the comments for Brock Bowers that he will be healthy. Now, Michael Mayer stood in at the end of the game, and he really handled business. And this is why I've been saying you do not trade Michael Mayer. You just don't do it. You don't have a guy at his capabilities, his professional athleticism, his talent level, his athleticism, and you trade him away for what? A 4th round pick? Absolutely not. He's on a rookie scale contract, costs us absolutely nothing. And if anything happens to Brock Bowers, you need Mayer to step up, and he did that beautifully today. And I'm so excited about it. So, again, offense looks like it's good. Offensive line, suspect, needs to be worked on, needs to get better. Hopefully, as the season progresses, they will get better and be able to open up holes for Ashton Jeanty. Now, let's talk about the defense. The defense did what it needed to do. Palomelo came up with a huge interception early in the game to keep us in this game. And Malcolm Kuntz was able to get some pressure and a sack. And Tyree Wilson was able to get pressures and a sack. And obviously, Max Crosby did what Max Crosby does. Now, in a few plays, I did notice Max Crosby was getting stood up by the tackle, but he was able to make the big plays when the big plays count, putting tons of pressure on Drake May and making him feel uncomfortable. So the defensive line wasn't as dominant as I was hoping, because the Patriots defensive line got 4 sacks, whereas we only got, I think, 1 sack on the entire game, and that was Tyree Wilson. So I would like to see more pressure. I want to see Thomas Booker play better. I want to see Tyree Wilson continue to take those next steps. And I want to see Max Crosby needs to come out of the game. He cannot play 99% of the game because we have backups. Take a step back. Take a breather. Come out of the game so that way you come back in really fresh. Because I noticed that Max Crosby got stood up on a couple of plays and he kind of just quit. He's catching his breath. And that is not acceptable. Pete Carroll, you've got to be the head coach. You've got to pull him out. Now, with that being said, I love the game plan. I love the adjustments in the second part of the game that Coach Chip Kelly was able to do. And I love the fact that you have Pete Carroll down there coaching guys up, including his staff and the players. This dude might be turning 74, but he looks like he's back in his prime when he was in his 60s with Seattle. So I'm excited. You should be excited. Smash Raiders down in the comments section. Again, make your comments down there to make, prayers for Brock Bowers' knees. We need to make sure that he is going to be healthy. Guys, I will do another breakdown further as the game tape comes out and just kind of break it all down. Until then, let's go Raiders.